Your roadmap to the latest in auto? Welcome to Highway Herald. The electric vehicle revolution promised a greener future, but reality reveals cracks in the EV utopia. Critics, once dismissed, are proving their concerns valid. From environmental tolls to logistical challenges, the clean energy dream faces major hurdles. In this video, we'll uncover the truths EV manufacturers may prefer to keep hidden. Whether you're an EV enthusiast or loyal to roaring engines, this deep dive offers plenty to consider. Buckle up. What you discover might just change how you see the electrified future of driving. Truth number 8, the long-range illusion. Range anxiety is more than just a buzzword. It's a significant hurdle for many potential EV buyers. Automakers boast ranges of 300, 400, or even 500 miles, but real-world conditions often paint a different picture. Imagine planning a road trip. Your EV promises 300 miles of range, but freezing temperatures quickly slash that to 200. Add a fully loaded car and steep inclines, and suddenly, the trip becomes a constant battery-level vigil. Then comes the charging dilemma. Unlike the ubiquity of gas stations, charging stations are sparse, especially in rural areas. Even if you find one, fast chargers can take 30 minutes to an hour, far longer than a quick gas fill-up. For many, the dream of seamless, long-distance EV travel is still out of reach. Truth number 7, the green myth exposed. EVs are often championed as eco-friendly, but a closer look at their life cycle reveals a less-than-green reality. Lithium-ion batteries, the heart of EVs, come at a steep environmental cost. Mining lithium, cobalt, and nickel devastates ecosystems and consumes enormous resources. In South America's lithium triangle, extracting 1 ton of lithium requires 500,000 gallons of water, crippling drought-prone areas. The environmental impact continues with the shipping of raw materials and the energy-intensive manufacturing process, which often rivals the carbon footprint of gas cars. By the time an EV hits the road, it may have produced more emissions than a traditional vehicle. Even after their use, EV batteries pose challenges. Recycling is expensive and inefficient, with many ending up in landfills, leaking harmful chemicals. The green promise of EVs remains complicated. Truth number 6, charging challenges unplugged. Charging an EV may sound simple, but for many owners, it's far from hassle-free. Public charging stations, essential for those without home setups, are riddled with issues: broken units, long lines, and non-standardized connectors across brands. City dwellers and apartment renters face even greater challenges. Without a home charger, they must rely on costly, often unreliable public networks. Add the strain on aging power grids, especially in blackout-prone areas like California, and the situation becomes more complicated. Even fast chargers require 30 minutes or more to deliver a usable charge, a stark contrast to the quick 5-minute gas station fill-up. While EVs represent cutting-edge technology, their charging infrastructure still falls short of providing the seamless convenience that drivers expect from internal combustion engines. Before we delve deeper, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to Highway Herald. Your support fuels our passion to create more content like this. Now let's explore truth number 5, the true cost of EV ownership. Once hailed as the affordable future of transportation, EVs are proving otherwise. The average price of an EV now stands at around $58,000, well beyond the reach of most families. Even with government subsidies, the high upfront cost is a significant barrier. Hidden expenses further erode affordability. Installing a home charger costs between $2,000 and $5,000, and battery replacements can exceed $10,000 after several years. Insurance premiums are also higher due to the complexity of repairs. Even electricity, once seen as a cost-saving advantage, isn't always cheaper. Rising rates in many areas mean charging an EV can rival or even exceed the cost of refueling a gas car. Add rapid depreciation, and EV ownership often feels more like a luxury than an economically viable option. Truth number 4, clean energy's hidden flaws. The notion that EVs are inherently powered by clean energy doesn't always hold water. In regions like Norway, where renewable energy dominates, EVs do shine as eco-friendly options. But in much of the world, especially the US, electricity grids are still heavily reliant on fossil fuels, with nearly 60% of the power coming from coal and natural gas. Plugging in your EV doesn't erase emissions, it simply shifts them from the tailpipe to the power plant. In states with coal-heavy grids, the emissions from charging an EV can rival those of driving a fuel-efficient gas car. This out-of-sight, out-of-mind mentality doesn't stand up to scrutiny. Until the energy grids themselves transition to renewable sources, EVs are only as green as the electricity that powers them. Truth number 3. Supply chain gridlock. The EV industry faces a massive challenge, a bottleneck in its supply chain. With soaring demand for key materials like lithium and cobalt, supply chains are stretched thin, and geopolitical tensions are adding fuel to the fire. China, for example, dominates the production of rare earth minerals, giving it a significant edge in the EV landscape. This reliance on foreign resources introduces vulnerability. Trade disputes or conflicts could grind the industry to a halt. Beyond sourcing materials, manufacturing EVs requires overhauling existing factories and supply networks, a complex and costly undertaking. These logistical hurdles inflate vehicle prices, delay deliveries, and leave eager consumers playing the waiting game. Truth number 2, where EVs lose the feeling. Ask any car enthusiast, and they'll tell you that driving is more than just transportation, it's an experience. But EVs, for all their efficiency, often lack that visceral thrill. Where's the roar of the engine, the satisfying rumble underfoot, or the joy of shifting through gears in a manual transmission? For many, EVs feel clinical, like appliances on wheels, stripped of the soul that makes driving a passion. This emotional gap is further widened by cultural resistance. Cars have long been an extension of identity, and for some, EVs don't resonate the same way as a roaring V8 or a growling turbocharged engine. Automakers face an uphill battle in capturing the hearts of this demographic, which values tradition and the sensory joys of driving just as much as cutting-edge innovation. Truth number 1, the Great EV Divide. Despite hefty investments and relentless marketing, EV adoption remains anything but universal. The divide is glaring, cutting across socioeconomic and geographical lines. In urban areas with abundant charging infrastructure and attractive government incentives, EVs are thriving as symbols of status and eco-consciousness. But venture into rural regions, and the picture changes. Long distances, limited charging options, and sparse infrastructure make EVs impractical for many. In fact, nearly 80% of charging stations in the US are concentrated in urban hubs, leaving rural areas largely underserved. For lower-income families, the barriers are even steeper. The average EV price still hovers around $55,000, far out of reach for most. Add hidden costs like installing home chargers or higher insurance premiums, and the financial burden becomes overwhelming. Until affordability and accessibility improve, the dream of widespread EV adoption will remain out of reach for many, deepening the divide between the EV haves and have-nots. Conclusion: the road ahead is under construction. So, were the critics right all along? The evidence suggests they have a strong case. While the EV revolution has made remarkable strides, significant hurdles remain. From limited ranges and environmental contradictions to affordability gaps and the lack of emotional connection for enthusiasts, the challenges facing EVs are piling up. For EVs to meet the ambitious expectations set for them, the industry must adapt and innovate. Whether these obstacles can be overcome is yet to be seen. However, skeptics are no longer mere detractors. They've become vital voices in shaping the transportation conversation. What's your take? Are EVs still the future, or do their challenges outweigh the promise? Share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear from fellow enthusiasts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay updated with Highway Herald for more in-depth dives into the world of automobiles. Thank you for joining us on this electrifying journey. Until next time, keep those engines revving.